Hi, my name is Denise Ingabo, and this is Beginning Impulsing, a little introduction for the impulsing episodes. It's commonly understood that when we know how something works, we can use that insight to restore it to good functioning or to keep it working well. Well, about 40 years ago, I didn't feel like I was working well. I was out of sorts a lot and was emotionally hurting. It seemed like everybody else was feeling fine, but not me. So I wondered what was wrong. I tried traditional avenues that people recommended and used to keep themselves stable, like religion and psychology, philosophy and friendships, and they worked for a while, but they weren't thorough enough for me and they weren't consistent enough. Well, my first breakthrough came when I realized that feelings were in me. Something was going on in me. This was good for me because from then on it was a physical project. I needed to know what was going on physically. When I can see how something works, then I have a better idea of what it takes to keep it working well. The next breakthrough came when I found that the nervous system was responsible for all conscious experiences, including feelings. There were explanations that showed how the heart pumped and how the lungs exchanged carbon dioxide for oxygen, but there wasn't anything that showed how activity in the nervous system made feelings. But this is what I needed, because I needed to see what changes needed to be made in the activity to make improvements. Well, since after checking the neuroscientific literature, there was nothing that showed a relationship between activity in the nervous system and experiences, I began to relate energy and activity together. They're both dynamic. And I've learned that the nervous system, which is a circuitry of neuron groups that are linked together, absorbed energy from both the body and from the environment. And I found that when it absorbed the energy, it immediately translated it or transformed it into electrochemical energy, which we know as impulses. I then proposed that neuron groups generate patterns of impulses from one group to the next. They do this rapidly, forming impulse trails. And I also propose that when each neuron group is energized in this way, one after another, certain work is done. And when I focused on the conscious pathways and inner circuitry of the nervous system circuitry, I proposed work done in 5 areas of the conscious pathways and showed how altogether they form our everyday conscious stream, instant by instant. Sensations, thoughts, and feelings. Specifically, I wanted to understand how feelings of stress evolved and how they were resolved, because these stress and relief patterns make up emotional balance, which is the basis of emotional health, which is what I equate with happiness. After 30 years of proposals that built this model, in 2000 I published a book called The Conscious Stream. This is an amateur effort, but it does contain most of the concepts that make up the model. Then in the last 8 years, I made a lot of improvements, more consistent terms, better relationships between the component concepts, and overall described the model in a way that better matched the natural organization of the topic. The results can be found on videos, episodes 1 to 3. These are the first of about 12 episodes. Like the PDF files that make up the Conscious Stream book, you can find completed work free to download online at impulsing.net. That's impulsing.net or impulsing.org. This work is free to download, but I do ask that if you distribute what you download, that you be sure that the material is in context and that there is no charge for anyone receiving the material down the line. Now, as an independent theorist, I've used up my resources, and it's time to stand up on my own 2 feet to see if I've earned your support. After reviewing these episodes, have I explained the work well enough to earn your unconditional support? Well, if so, there are 2 ways that I appreciate help. The first is by sending a 1-page review of the concepts or the presentation. Please send that to Impulsing at Post Office Box 220, The Dalles, Oregon. TheDalles, Oregon 97058. The other way is to contribute to Impulsing at the Oregon Territory Federal Credit Union in the Dalles, Oregon 97058. And then as I update my website, be sure to check and see the results of your support. So what's left to do? Well, my plan is to make improved descriptions of the component concepts that make up the full model for a new edition of the Conscious Stream and for further video episodes. Although I can do this individually, I'm going to organize a seminar, a volunteer group of incisive graduate students in neuroscience and others. And to ensure that the final version for the general reader is uniformly and accurately written, the integrated concepts will be vetted as we go along and citations provided for reference as they are written. The video episodes will be more professionally written, perhaps with Disney-like animations showing the work done in the conscious pathways as the areas are energized in turn. The resulting model is what I was looking for many years ago. As the project progressed, I found how very much alike we are. Our nervous systems are organized alike, just as our respiratory, muscular, cardiac systems are organized alike, and they function alike too. With this insight, it's easier to see how another person's feelings evolve and how that leads to their behavior. When each of us have a better understanding of ourselves, we are more able to design a lifestyle and environment for ourselves that supports our emotional as well as our physical well-being. And as each of us improves, society as a whole improves. And that helps support our emotional as well as our physical wellness. Well, I'm Denise Engebo, and I'd like to thank you for watching Beginning Impulsing and for perhaps supporting this project. Thank you.